Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello creepy friends, welcome to Nixie Bobs, and this is actually the first edition of Braidy Days. I did record one beforehand, but I decided that I didn't really want to use it. So this is the first 1.5, let's call it pilot point 2 of Braidy Days, and I'm going to show you how to do what I call this Mohawk and interwoven braid hairstyle, and I will just give you a quick turn around and show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you how to do the French braid and interweave all of this together and finish it as such. So keep watching, and here's the beginning. So let's start by taking down this hair. I've been in a flick out. My hair's clean, but could be cleaner. I kind of only want a half up, half down style, which is why we're going for this today. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to show you from the back how I just basically take from either ear, like so, and feel up for half of the head. Comb this down, and then just for a second I'm going to flip this bit forward, grip it in my teeth of all things, and just secure the back bit. Secure that quite tightly, because if you don't, I can sometimes end up pulling little bits in and then I get confused and frustrated and blah blah blah. So I'm going to brush all this back, and yes, I have these frizzy bits. These will be tamed, so don't worry. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to come from this side. So I tend to have 2 points at the front of my head, which is how I'm going to base this. So I'm going to take from this point, turn again, and I'm going to comb down, and then out we've got one section. Pull that, and I'm just going to loosely secure that for the time being. We'll come back to this piece as well. Like so, and then repeat it on this side. So I'm going to search that point again. I'm going to turn so you can see. I'm going to go down the hair, pull this off, and now we've got a second section, and same thing. I'm going to section this off again a little bit tightly because I don't want to end up pulling any of this side's parts into my braid. So now we've got this middle part. Now I do the middle part once, but generally I can end up doing it a second time after I've done these two sides, just purely because sometimes I mess it up a little bit. So I'm going to do a quick spritz of hairspray. Now I'll advise, if anyone is more technically gifted than I am, and probably a lot of you are out there, if you want to turn this into the more outy Dutch braid style, you can, but I tend to prefer doing this as a French plait. I'm going to take my front, and this is going to be quite hard to do, so I'm going to have to bend down a little bit and talk to my knees. I'm going to divide it into 3. I'm going to cross over, and this is a basic French braid, which is fairly easy, and I don't actually need to do it. I'm going to take from the side, small piece, come to this side, do the same. Again to this side, pick up what you can. Try and keep pulling it tighter as well so that you don't end up with messy pieces. This can happen to me actually. See, I've lost my way a little bit already. Just grab this in my mouth. The side. Now we're getting slightly further down the hair here. I'm going to release that. I'm going to flip round because I don't really need to use the mirror anymore. And I'm going to feel for this braid. Oh, a little bit of tangle there. Oh, I think that is all the hair. So then I'm just going to braid this straight down. I advise you stop about 3/4 of the way down your hair, depending on how long your hair is. Bearing in mind these bits will be wrapped around this braid here. If you miss a little bit like that, don't worry, it's not going to show up really that badly. It's nothing worth worrying about. And I'm going to stop here. I could braid further, but as you'll see, I'm not going to use all of this hair and all of this braid anyway. I will take it out. So I'm just going to tie that with an elastic just temporarily. So I'm probably going to redo this braid a little bit because there's a couple of humpty bits here and this bit that I'm not quite happy with, but that is normal, and it also means that I will be able to incorporate this odd little piece that I've missed in here. So I'll just tie that off. I tend to do it once and then do it again because I tend to do it better the second time around anyway. So with these bits, the side bits, now you've got two options here. If you feel like doing this, you could French plait these in, or again, outie braid them, which is where you take it under the hair underneath. I'm not going to do that. For ease and speed, I'm actually going to be lazy and just braid them as a normal 3-strand plait. So I've sprayed a little bit of hairspray in there to control those frizzy bits we saw earlier. And it's quite simple, it's not complicated. 3 strands and just do a basic braid. I'm going to try and pull them up a little bit higher-ish to about this point of my head. Sometimes I get braids odd, but I'm not going to do that with this one. And then we're just going to braid this down as long as we can to the point where you can't braid any more. My bits are getting smaller and smaller. The joys of having long hair, you guys. Okay, that's about as far as I can really get that because one part of this is getting quite fine now. So we're going to go back in with an elastic, with the same elastic. And we don't need to worry too much about this if you're worried about it breaking because we won't be keeping it in anyway. So I've got a basic braid there. That's going to come back really well with no Humpty bumps. So we're just going to repeat this step on this side. I think one half of my hair is slightly thicker than the other, but I'm not too worried about that. It doesn't bother me that one side is slightly thicker than the other. So let's just quickly redo this middle braid. I don't need to show you exactly what I'm doing there. Just a quick redo and I'll get it a lot better this time as well. So that is a lot better this time. I will say with a middle part braid like this, it's always going to stand up a little bit more. And if you're the sort of person who likes to pull braids apart and make them a little bit messy, you can go ahead and do that, but it's just not my thing. I tend to like things to be just a little bit neater and tidier. There are times when I will mess up braids. There was one style I did last week when it was really warm, where I did side part, I had a braid down, loop them back up, and then I did a messy braid bun in the back. If you guys want to see that next time it's hot, I'll record it for you. So this is where it's getting a little complicated because I've now got to try and go in and do this blind. So for this next part of this, you're going to need the hair loop that I have here. This was just £2 out of Claire's accessories. So I'm going to turn around and hope to God that I don't screw this up. I'm going to take a piece close to where the braid begins and the French plait finishes. And this is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to take my loop and I'm going to poke that through like so. And then this plait here, you've got to keep it flat. I'm going to take that, loop that in and pull this through. So part of the reason as well I'm keeping that straight is so that it covers any parting line I had here, which it does. So now we've parted that in here, I'm going to come one row down, poke it in again. I'm going to weave that round the braid, bring it through and pull it down again. And that's how I'm going to keep strategically going down. Sometimes I misalign and do it the next one down instead, but I'm going to try and not do that. I'm not a hairdresser, guys. You guys know this. Where is the plait? So weave it in. Around and pull through. That simple. So again, let's come to about, I think this will be the last notch I do. Through the braid, in the loop, so it's gone around this plait as well, and pull through. And I'm going to leave that there and it will not go anywhere, so you can see how that's woven round. So now we're going to do the same on this side. So again, I'm going to take this plait up. This is going to be where I'm going to go through. My legs are aching, by the way. I'm going to take it through, keep it straight, and then pull. Keep that nicely laid against there. So now it's through. We're going to come to the next strand down. I think we're even Stevens there. So now we've got these two here. All I'm going to do is very simply tie it all down so that it all stays in place, because we don't really want loads and loads of elastics floating around our hair. So I'm going to use black. Sometimes I use white, sometimes I use the clear ones, but I'm just going to take a basic black hair tie, and where these are, I'm just going to feel for it, secure it in, and I'm going to double secure it just to make sure it's in. And I'm going to whip out that elastic, and then the bottom one up here. Just going to give my legs a rest. They're aching like crazy. And just undo all of that. So again, if you want to mess this up and make it bigger, you can. It's just not my aesthetic to do that at all. And then I'm just going to take this out, comb it through. And that is a Mohawk braid with interwoven side braids, all finished. One quick more spritz of hairspray, because I do have a sticky up bit going on there that I need to get rid of and abolish. And all finished. So I've still got length, it's still half down, and this is the finished hairstyle. Obviously the longer your hair is or the shorter it is, the shorter runs you're going to get of this being interwoven. But I'm quite happy with it like this. So that is my little tutorial for that, and hope you enjoyed this edition of Braidy Days. Do leave me a comment down below, like, share, subscribe. If you didn't like it, tell me why did I do anything wrong. If you'd like to see me attempt anything else, do let me know. I've got in mind to do this thing called Fab Fail, where I take hairstyles and see if I can actually do them. The one that I always wanted to try was a crown braid, because I cannot do that for anything. So let me know if you'd like to see that, and I'll see everyone again for another video. Bye.